Choices. Sometimes we feel we have no choice, but actually your choice and your free will is the most powerful force on the planet. So how do we make choices? I was reminded this morning of the time that I made a choice to leave my corporate career. The corporate career was going very well, but for the last year, in 2011, I felt something dying inside. I felt like I couldn't belong, like the 15 years that I had spent going up the ladder from a data admin in finances to, the communication and training manager of a top pharmaceutical company responsible for 2 sites. That whole traject and everything I had done, being promoted every 18 months, all the hard work, the effort, the cost. It had finally gotten me where I thought I wanted to go, but there was no fulfillment in it. And I felt this nudging, I felt this hollow, and a new path was opening up. I had discovered training at the time. I had discovered coaching in 2007. So I kind of knew the direction that I wanted to go in. And I was really seeking higher guidance. And I remember debating with Source, my guides, God, the universe. And I asked, should I stay? Should I go? Should I stay? Should I go? Should I stay? Should I go? And I got silence. And this was very frustrating. For anyone that I asked, as someone who is channeling higher wisdom and supporting others to access their higher wisdom, silence was heartbreaking. And I'm like, I need you now. I need you now to tell me yes or no, yes or no. Absolute silence. I was devastated. Eventually, I was on my knees one night and I went into the silence as well, into the stillness. And it was there that I heard the guidance. And the guidance was not what I was expecting. You see, we go to higher consciousness and we go to our guides and we ask yes or no, and we don't get an answer. So if this is your situation, then I hope this answer that I got really sets you free to choose the path that is right for you. Because what I got was the answer, have you not already chosen? And I was not expecting a question from guidance. I was expecting an answer, and I got a question. And the question was, have you not chosen already? And in the instant I had that question, I knew the answer. I had already chosen. I had chosen long before I even started my career. I could feel that choice was just to follow my heart, just to follow my own guidance. And I knew, yes, it's time to leave my corporate career. It was time to start my own business. And the minute that started, actually that night, I got the name of my 2 companies, which I started in 2012, Authentic Voice, Authentic Pro. Authentic Voice, Authentic Pro. I knew the authenticity of each and every individual was that which was going to catapult them. That was the path I was following and was guided to follow. Freedom, expression, wholeness. And so I remember announcing it to my family that I had finally made a decision. I had finally made the decision to leave my comfortable, cushy job, which was not comfortable or cushy at all. Yes, I had financial security. I had the respect of my peers. I had the honor of my boss. I had the freedom to do what I wanted. But I knew that no matter whatever freedom they were giving me within the company, it really wasn't the fulfillment of the full freedom that I wanted within myself. The amazing thing was that when I turned to my family, especially my father at the time, he absolutely hated the idea. he hated the idea. He said, no, Lizette, it's recession. It is, okay, I get it. You want to be an entrepreneur, which you know nothing about, by the way. I know that you are gifted as a trainer, but it's recession. People don't have money. How are you going to live? And this was interesting because first from guidance, I got nothing. Then from my family, I had no support. And so again, I went into turmoil. And I had to fight against every doubt and every fear, not just of mine, but of my ancestry, of the way my father had also been programmed. He had been an employee his whole life and been very comfortable. And the moment that he had chosen to start his own career, he didn't choose an honest partner. He ended up losing all his savings. So he had gone through a very traumatic time. And he didn't want me to do the same. Did it mean his advice was right? No. So what does Lizette do? What Lizette always does. She follows her heart and her guidance, and I quit anyway. I quit my job. But before I did, Providence showed up. And this is what I want to give you guidance. The first thing is, you have already chosen, haven't you? And most of us have. And this is why, instead of me trying to tell you what the answer is, which I will never, ever do, ever, what I'd rather do is I'd rather take you into that quiet, still place of supreme, sacred sanctuary where you can hear your own heart, where you can see your own vision, that one that is in the blueprint of your soul, in your heart, in your essence, that is truly going to serve you, even if it doesn't look like it's the easiest path or the most convenient path right now, which, by the way, your dreams are never on the most convenient path. Way shower? Never. You are here to bend and break the restrictions and the confinement of who your soul has always known itself to be. So your path is not going to look like anyone else's path. And if you're looking at others for advice, you know what you're actually getting? You're getting their stories, their experience, their trauma. And they don't have the same giftings as you. So their story is not going to be your story, right? This journey requires faith. This is why we need to see in the unseen. We need to go into the void. We need to go into the womb. We need to go into the dark to open our eyes to see something different. And I did choose to start my own business. And I am now an independent entrepreneur since 2012. Never had a boss, never had a steady paycheck. And it was the best decision I have ever made. Dad, before he passed in 2014, had seen me on this journey for about 3 years before he passed. And within 6 months, he knew I had made the right choice, because the immediate moment when I followed guidance and I chose to believe and trust the universe, trust my inner source, the minute that happened, I had a breakthrough and an offer to do training by the same company. So I was hired back by the very same company that I left. I was hired back as an external consultant. And I started making in 1 day of training what I used to make as a salary for a month. The voice that they were ignoring and ridiculing as idealist was all of a sudden a voice of reason and counsel and comfort for the leaders and their staff and team. So I want to just give you this little story to encourage you to listen to the whispers of your heart. Listen to the blueprint of your unique soul and cultivate that crystalline clarity that will show you the way where it doesn't seem to be any way, because your way is unique and no one can know your path. The thing is that you do know your path. So often when we're in crossroads, what's really happening is that there is a debate going on between the sovereign self and the conditioned mind. The restrictions that have been put on you, the limitations that have told you that being who you are is not going to work in this world. And heaven knows we need you to be who you are, okay? We all need to be who we truly are right now, because that is not only the path to freedom, but it is the path that is going to unleash that sacred gift, that sacred service that is necessary for the whole. Firstly, for the whole of you. Secondly, for the whole of those that you love the most. And thirdly, for the whole of the world that you are here to serve. But I am convinced the more I worked with people, not only in my own path, but the more I worked with people, we always came to the place of stillness and sacredness where we actually do know what we want. We do know what's right for us. But we might not have the understanding and the support that we are longing for until we step into it. And this is the power of your sovereignty. This is the power of your free will in alignment with your divine self. And that's going to open up the most amazing adventures. Was it easy? Not all the time. But it was always right. It was always what I needed. It was always what served me and my highest calling, and now gets to serve those that I serve, and has granted me the freedom to really be who I am. And would I change that for any security, any paycheck? Hell no. Hell no to the end, no. Hope that's a blessing to you. Take care, dear one.